Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Hellsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe. So for today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a styling video based on, the Telfar boots. So I actually got like a request like about a month ago to do a styling video for these boots, and honestly at first I was like, oh. They are a little bit challenging to style. Like, yes, they're a high boot, but they have something important high up, which I think a lot of the times high boots, they don't have this kind of shape. It's very like cowboy-y, almost like a waiter's kind of shape to it. And for me, it was kind of challenging taking into account, like, well, do you want to show off the logo? Do you include it? Do you cover up the boot? Do you keep it all exposed? Is it something you, like, tuck in? I thought of, like, all the outfits I'd worn in the past with these, and I even thought, like, what I would want to wear in the future, and I came up with 3 ideas that I thought I would try them on, show them off for you guys, and then walk you through them so that you can do these outfits for yourself at home if you have these boots or even boots that are similar. So I just wanted to share my thoughts. Let's go. Alright, for this first look, and kind of all the looks, I really took into account like the proportions. So these boots are gigantic, right? They're high, they're wide, especially from the side, even though like from the front they look kind of narrow, but still they take up a lot of real estate on your body, especially if you're someone who's on the shorter side like me. So I really thought about proportion of all of the things that I was wearing, breaking up the body into around 4 different parts. We have the feet, the lower half, the top half, and then the head. So I didn't really play too much with the head for any of these looks, but for this one I did think about how the torso versus the legs versus the shoe would happen. So for the shoe, because it's always kind of bigger, I took note that it was a very grounding kind of part of the outfit. That's where you play with proportions afterwards. So this one is really focusing more on the big pants, little shirt. I don't know if that's like a thing that you've heard of. The whole idea of like, are you a big pants, little shirt, or big shirt, little pants kind of person? And this is me kind of like playing around with that kind of idea, because these boots, actually, like if you look at my review for them, I talk about this at length, but these boots are, they say something. So you need to take that into account when making your outfit for it. But then, so for this outfit, with the pants, because they're on the bigger side, I didn't want them to be too structural, so I wanted them to be a little bit more flowy, a little bit more casual, and I actually playfully tucked them in a little bit around the boots so that you got a little bit more draping, a little bit more texture. Honestly, these pants don't need to be like pinstriped or half and half like mine are. They just need to have that kind of like flowiness to them so that you can create a little bit more wave, add a little bit more drama to help balance off the boots. And then up top, I kept it kind of simple. I did just a white button up, but it could be another button up that just works probably more in line with something more fitted, not so oversized. I do have something that has an oversized top later on, but then here I wanted to keep it simple, so then you got the silhouette of something like small up top going into big towards the bottom, and kind of playing with that kind of proportions. I did consider throwing on a jacket, and I do think it looks nice, so if you needed another layer, and this is where something a bit boxy, a little bit more oversized does help, but then I like the idea of keeping it open so you can still see your frame, your silhouette underneath the jacket, so you don't lose the kind of shape that you've created underneath. In general, for me, I pick a bag that goes along with more of like whatever activity, what am I, a kindergartner? But like whatever I'm doing outside of the house that day. So if I'm going to dinner and I want something smaller and a bit fancier or whatever, then I do that. If I'm wearing the same outfit to something more casual, because the way I style, I don't think it goes formal or casual one way or the other. You can kind of do it. And I think matching your bag to whatever you're doing that day, I think makes the most sense. And if you're like me, you have a bag for different occasions and they're gonna work for these outfits. So with that being said, I am carrying a bag. Alright, so this second look, I think it might be the most simple out of the 3, but I think it's something that still needs to be said. So this look, if we're talking about proportions, let's say it's like big, little, big, and when I say big, little, big, it's big in the boots, little in the pants, and then kind of like big on top from like wearing like a big jacket with some sort of like texture. The color maybe is not as important. It really is just about like how does the silhouette and how does the style like fit under that. So like in the last look, we kind of played with like the big pants, little shirt, and then here we're kind of doing the opposite, where it's big shirt kind of like with like the big jacket and then little pants. You're splitting the focus from the boots and the coat. So I'm not saying that you need to have a statement coat or a jacket. It's always nice to have a statement coat or a jacket, but it's not always necessary to have one. So right now I'm just wearing like a faux fur that I got, I don't know, like at this point it's probably like 10 years ago or something like that, which by the way, to be sustainable, keep wearing your stuff. And if you don't think it's in style for a while, A, keep wearing it because who cares as long as you love it. And B, if you do care about that, it'll probably come back at some point. So, you know. But then for me, what's important about this look, specifically with the faux fur, is that you're getting a lot of texture. You're getting a really like slim silhouette underneath, or as, you know, as form-fitting as you feel comfortable. And then you're getting something oversized up top, oversized on bottom. Like I said, you're splitting the proportions, big on top and on the bottom. The middle is like that kind of slim. And then again, if you can, I like to keep it open so that you can see the shape of your body underneath. Or if you want to like really exaggerate the like bigness of the coat, zip it up and let it just take over your whole form. I think that's really fun too. As far as accessories goes, and I didn't explain this with the last look, but for me, accessories should never be like the biggest part of the look. It's not that it shouldn't be, it's just that it's not my focus. I like to focus more on clothes that make me feel good and make me feel good in my body. And I think that's something that's really important for people to do as well. And while you can have a really cool necklace or bracelets or whatever, for me, that's always kind of like the cherry on the top. It's kind of like the finishing touch. There's nothing that's ever going to make me feel comfortable in my skin, you know? So at least like that's where I like to start. And then basic jewelry or basic accessories is always good to start with. And then going into something maybe a little bit more exuberant. I don't know, what's a less fancy word for that? Fancy? Something bigger and something fancier? Sure, if you feel confident and you want to have a little bit more flair, go for it. And then I just wanted to show this same look in like a slightly different silhouette jacket. Like the jacket still has a lot of volume, but it's a little bit more cropped and it has a little bit more visual texture as well as like color differentiation, a little bit more details, and it's less textural in the same way that this faux fur gives like some tactility to it. This jacket is more of a statement. So like, while this one is less of a statement, but it still says something, this jacket for sure is a lot more statement-y in the pattern, in the details, and in the shape as well. Having a statement jacket with the statement boots, it's not too much statement, and I think it actually helps balance out the kind of statementness that the boots can have. I don't know if statementness is a word. Kind of sounds dirty. Statementness. No, it doesn't. You hear what you want to hear. Alright, and for this last look, I wanted to once again play with the silhouettes, but kind of in a different way. So with the first look, it was kind of like big pants, little shirt. The last one was big shirt, little pants. And then this one, it's kind of little pants, little shirt, but it's also kind of like long shirt, little pants / no pants, because technically you don't need to wear pants with this look. I just wanted to wear pants with it because it's cold now. So like the idea of like layering actual clothes underneath makes a lot of sense to me, but it could also be you're wearing like leggings or hose or something underneath that instead of pants. And then for me, it's about the kind of like stretching out of the proportions. I think especially because I identify in like the masculine side of things. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I'm still like not 100% comfortable wearing this kind of stuff, even though like, I don't know, I don't really care what people think. I think with this, because the boot, it's not like a high boot, it's not like a thigh high or anything, but it does like hit to the upper calf, almost the knee. I think having that kind of verticality from the boot, I think it's interesting to kind of like continue that kind of form language going all the way up to the top of the body. So taking something that's like maybe like a column, like t-shirt dress or something like similar to what I'm wearing, where it's kind of just like a column, and taking that line that you pull up from the feet and then kind of continuing it all the way up to the top. And like, I don't know how it's reading on camera, but it makes me feel like I have a little bit more verticality than maybe I'm used to. I find it interesting because it's just another way to think about proportions instead of just like going in and out with shapes, but how can you like draw verticality versus horizontality. I don't know, it's something that's just another thing to play with, and I think it's something that's to consider, especially when you have boots that are such an interesting shape like this. Because the shape of the boots have that kind of like handle, cowboy booty kind of shape to it. Because this dress is so long, I like played with tucking it into the boot a little bit to kind of like disrupt the shape a little bit and make it feel a little bit more casual, maybe less / more purposeful. Maybe like the tucking can almost be seen as accidental, something like that, like, oh, he accidentally tucked his shirt into his underpants kind of thing, but then it's your boots. I don't know. And then, of course, like what I'm wearing right now is sleeveless, and I just talked about how it's getting chilly here, so then I did want to do a version of this look with another sweater on top of it. It's like a sweatshirt really, but it's like a really big kind of silhouette. I think it's like a sweatshirt dress. So just layering like these really long forms. It not only like weirds the proportions out where like it makes my torso look longer and my legs shorter, but it also gives this almost like frumpy appearance, which I feel like is really fun with like these boots, because these boots look very well put together. The quality of the leather is very good. The shape of them, and then the logo having these crisp lines. All of those things coming together along with the treads of it make it look kind of like very well put together. Not like military-esque, but like very clean lines. And then having all these lines come in and chop up your proportions like around like your thigh and then your knee, I think it's just really interesting and kind of funny. And then that's another thing about this look, like without any sort of layering on top, it's a super like vertical look, but then once you add another layer, you're adding another line and kind of cutting your form, so you're creating more horizontality than existed just without it. So that's just another thing to consider when you're adding layers, because it's cold or just because you want to wear another layer. And then for me, personally, my style, I don't have a lot of color just because I personally get tired of color, and I don't like the idea of buying something to have it for like a season, get tired of it, and either give it away after 1 year or hold onto it for like 4 or 5 years until I feel like I'm into that color again. I saw it as kind of wasteful, but that's just me personally. So if color works for you, I feel like any of these silhouettes that I'm introducing, it works great with whatever mix of color that you feel comfortable with. I'm not going to be your like perfect source when it comes to like color matching, colorways, things like that. I know what works, but not for me personally, because there's a whole lot of factors like skin tone, moods, just like different parts of like the human psyche and the human form that mixing color, I'm not super comfortable making recommendations with that. It's not to say like what you're seeing here wouldn't work for you even if you mix like a million different colors. It probably will. As long as the color makes you happy, then it's going to show that you're enjoying wearing it and it's going to look great on you. Alright, so that is the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the way I talk about proportion and silhouettes is helpful for you guys? The thing for me is like everyone has different body shapes, preferences, something like that, and to make any sort of like specific recommendation of like wear this shirt with these pair of pants and you'll look great, and that's just not true. Anytime I see these kinds of like styling videos where people are like, I got this from like American Eagle and I got this from H&M, and if you wear these together it looks great. Sure, on them it might, but then because people come in all different sizes, I think it's just really unfair to kind of like say that something's gonna look good. So I wanted to kind of come in with like my way of styling. If you think about it, even your own personal perception of your body changes from day to day, depending on if you're having a good day, bad day, or if you're just, you want to do something fancy or special or something like that too. Like the way that you think of your body changes. So to constantly think of your body as this like static thing that doesn't change, especially considering if you work out or if you've maybe been missing the gym and like your body changes, which is completely natural and okay. Just having like the kind of idea of what kind of shape you want to create, I think is more healthy and more helpful than just being like, oh, if you wear a crop top with these low-rise jeans, you're gonna be hot. Like, I don't know. And maybe that's just me being like old. I want to come in and like think of like how can we create looks for ourselves in kind of like a body positive, like it doesn't matter what your body looks like. If you're having fun and playing with these kinds of proportions and silhouettes, you can make something that you think is flattering for yourself and still interesting and, I don't know, kooky and weird and fit your personality, you know? So that's all I wanted to do with this. Let me know if you guys agree, if you think that I did the job, or if you have any tips for me. I love hearing from you guys, especially if you can help me become better. I would love to hear that. But that is all I have for you today. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Until next time, you always have to make sure you look good while running away.